Right now, if the temperature dropped 10 degrees, you would reach for a thermostat. Not survive, not adapt, just reach for a dial on the wall. Think about this. For thousands of years, your ancestors had no dial, no heating, no insulated walls. At the height of the last ice age, temperatures in many regions were far colder than anything you've ever felt. Humans evolved in the warmth of Africa. We have no fur, no blubber, nothing built into our bodies to survive that kind of cold. If you were dropped into that world tonight, with everything you currently know, you would probably not make it through the week. Some researchers have even proposed something stranger, that the cold may have been brutal enough to push the human body into something resembling hibernation. The idea is still debated, but the fact that scientists are seriously discussing it tells you everything about how extreme this world actually was. So, how did they make it through winters brutal enough that an entire other human species didn't? Hold on to that thought, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why only one of us made it out. The answer starts with something you're wearing right now without thinking about it at all. If the idea of an entire human species disappearing just gave you chills, do one thing right now. Tap subscribe, because this channel exists for people who want to understand exactly how ancient their own body still is. Now stay with me, because the first answer starts with clothing. For most of the Ice Age, clothing meant loose animal hides draped over the body, enough to survive, not enough to stay warm for long. This is not an exaggeration. In this kind of cold, exposed skin doesn't just hurt, it fails, and frostbite becomes a constant, permanent threat. Then, around 30,000 years ago, a tiny invention changed everything: the sewing needle, carved from bone. Ian Gilligan, an archaeologist at the University of Sydney who studies Ice Age clothing technology, argues this single tool may be one of the reasons modern humans survived the coldest parts of the Ice Age while other human species did not. For the first time, people could sew clothing that actually fit the body, trapping heat in layers instead of just draping it over the skin. Every layer still came at a cost. Every piece meant hours spent processing a hide with stone tools, in freezing temperatures, just to make survival possible for one more season. Clothing wasn't the only impossible problem. In parts of Eastern Europe, there were no forests for wood and no caves for shelter, so humans built homes out of the only large material available: mammoth bones. Skulls, ribs, and tusks layered with hide and earth to block the wind. Not a temporary shelter, a real home built from the skeleton of an animal that once weighed several tons. You pull on a hoodie in about 4 seconds and never think about it again. Your ancestors' entire survival strategy was built on solving that exact problem, from nothing, using bone tools and animal hide, because the alternative was frostbite or worse. This is not an exaggeration. The comfort you feel reaching for warmth without a second thought is not something your body earned. It's something your ancestors built, tool by tool, generation after generation. Your brain still treats warmth as a reward because for nearly all of human history, finding it was never guaranteed. And not every human species made it. Remember what I asked you to hold on to earlier? Let's finally talk about it. The Neanderthals had spent hundreds of thousands of years adapting to cold European climates. In many ways, they were better built for the cold than we were. They still disappeared. Scientists still debate exactly why, but many point to one advantage modern humans had that Neanderthals may not have: wide-reaching cooperation. Tools, materials, and knowledge moving between groups hundreds of miles apart so that no single group had to survive entirely alone. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are just ancient. Comment below. Could you have survived a single Ice Age winter? Like this video if it changes how you think about pulling on a jacket, and subscribe for more of the ancient reasons behind your modern comfort.